Problem number 1. A random variable has mean 5 and variance 3. Find the value of h such that probability of modulus x minus 5 is less than h greater than or equal to 0.99. So we are given with the mean and the variance of a random variable, and we have to find the value of this small h such that probability of modulus x minus 5 less than h is greater than or equal to 0.99. Just closely observe this inequality before we move on to the solution. Yes. Now, what do you think about this inequality? Do you find any similarity with this and your Chebyshev's inequality? Okay, now let's start with the solution. If you feel that similarity, just keep that in mind. Now, from the problem, the data that we have, or the information that we have, is about the mean, that is 5, and they have given us an information regarding the variance. So the variance is sigma square, and that is equal to 3. Now we need sigma, so sigma is equal to root 3. Now that we have found a similarity between the Chebyshev's inequality and the inequality that we are provided in the problem, write down the Chebyshev's inequality with mu 5, and sigma you can of course write it as root 3. I just kept it like this, like that's itself. Mark it as equation 1. Then the inequality that is given in your problem, mark it as equation 2. Compare these two equations. You will get what? This value, that is 1 minus 1 by t square, is equal to what? 0.99. Okay, and what about h? H is equal to t sigma, right? So in order to find h, you have already have what? Sigma with you, that is root 3. What about t? So to find out t, you can seek the help of this equation, that is 1 minus 1 by t square is equal to 0.99, which gives the value t is equal to 10, and then you substitute h is equal to t into root 3, you will get the answer. Let's move on to another problem. For a normally distributed population, 7% of the items have their values less than 35 and 89% have their values less than 63. You are asked to find out the mean and standard deviation of the distribution. Now it is clearly said that x follows what? A normal distribution with mean, mu and sigma. And from the question we know that 7% of the items have their values less than 35. So how can you write that? Probability of x less than or equal to 35 is equal to 7 by 100, or 7%, and that is 0.07. That forms your first equality or equation. Now the second equation that you get from your problem is what? Probability of x less than or equal to 63 is equal to 0.89. So that is your second equation. Is that enough to find out your mean and standard deviation? No, because your equations do not have mean and sigma right now. Now, in order to introduce mean and sigma to these equations, what should we do? We know that x is a normal, x follows a normal distribution. Now I'm going to apply a transformation. Z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So if I do something over here, first you consider the first equation, and if I give minus mu by sigma over here, the same thing I have to do it over here, right? So what I get? Probability of x minus mu by sigma is less than or equal to 35 minus mu by sigma, which is equal to 0.07. Since I have applied the transformation, I am giving this as z. Z is less than or equal to what? 35 minus mu by sigma, which is equal to 0.07. Okay, now this is my third equation. Similarly, you can also change your second equation, and you will get probability of z less than or equal to 63 minus mu by sigma equal to 0.89. Now I'm going to consider the third equation, that is this one. Okay, and I'm going to draw a normal frequency curve. So from this equation, it is said that the value of z is less than or equal to 35 minus mu by sigma. What is that? Probability of z less than or equal to 35 minus mu by sigma. Now before that, I just told you that I am drawing a normal frequency curve. I just marked a point 35 minus mu by sigma over here. minus 35 minus a negative value, and a positive value over here, 35 minus mu by sigma. Now for me this part is your 0.70, that is 7, so that is a probability of z less than or equal to, this part is your okay. Now as you can see that in the area under the frequency curve, the total area is 1. The area from 0 to minus infinity is 0.5, and the area from 0 to plus infinity is 0.5. So these are some of the information that we know beforehand. Now apart from that, as I said before, probability of 0 less than or equal to z less than or equal to 35 minus mu by sigma is equal to 0.07. So that area is lies somewhere over here. Okay, and that point is this minus 35 minus mu by sigma. Fine. Now see, now we are asked to find out this part, this blank part. So in order to find out this blank part, what should we do? We should subtract. Now we know that this area, that is minus infinity to 0, is 0.5. So from 0.5 you have to subtract what? 0.07, so that you get this blank area. Okay, and what is that you get when you subtract 0.43? Now 0.43 is your area, but is the area is not the thing that you have to find over here. For finding the area, we have another problem that I would ask you to go and look it under the what topic, area under the frequency curve. Now here we have to find out what is 35 minus mu by sigma, this one. So in order to find out this one from the tables, now how we will do that? We have the area minus 0.43. So in this is where your area lies. So 43 lies somewhere somewhere between 0.4292 and 0.4306, somewhere over here. Look at the corresponding ordinates, 1.4 and plus 0.07. So what will you get? 1.47, and this lies somewhere between this two terms. So what do you get? 1.475. Now what you have to do? So 35 minus mu by sigma is equal to what? 1.475 minus 1.475. Okay, now this is your equation A. Similarly, you have to find out another equation in order to get what? Mu and sigma, because you have two unknowns. So for that we take the help of this equation, that is the fourth equation, probability of z less than or equal to 63 minus mu by sigma equal to 0.89. Now let's see, when I draw the curve, we know that I said the whole area is 1. From minus infinity to 0 it is 0.5, and from 0 to some point like 63 minus mu by sigma is your 0.89. The area from here to here is 0.89. Now what is the thing that we have to find out? We have to find out this area. Okay, so we know that 0.5 is the full from here to here is 0.89. From that you subtract 0.5, you get 0.39. That is this area. Now back to the tables, locate 0.39. 0.39, yeah, this is 0.39. The corresponding ordinates 0.12 plus 0.03, what is it? 1.23. So this is how you get 63 minus mu by sigma as 1.23. That is your B. Now it is very easy to solve. You have your A and your B. Now you solve. How you solve for mu and sigma? Divide A by B. You will get an equation in mu. Substitute the value of mu in any of these equations. You will get the value of sigma as 10.37 and the value of mu as 50.3. Problem 2 is something similar to your previous problem. That is this one. You should do it by yourself. Problem 3. Find the least number of tossing a fair coin required in order that the probability will be at least 0.95 that the frequency ratio of the number of heads differs by less than zero point 0.1 from 0.5. Now this seems to be a very confusing question at first. Read it once again, line by line. Find the least number of tossing a fair coin. What is the least number? What does that mean? You have to find out small n. Now, in order to find out small n, from the question, we are provided with some important information. What are the information? Such that the probability will be at least 0.95. That is, probability of something is at least 0.95. Probability of something is greater than or equal to 0.95. That the frequency ratio of the number of heads, frequency ratio is what, xn by n, differs by less than 0.1 from 0.5. Now what does that mean? The difference between the frequency ratio and 0.5 is less than 1. So what is the meaning of the whole question? You have to find out n such that the probability of the difference of the frequency ratio and 0.5 is less than 1 is at least 0.95. Okay, this is how you break down questions like these. Now, what you have to do is, after writing down the inequality, just see whether you find this inequality similar to something that you have studied. Now, something which is connected with your frequency ratio, an inequality or a law that you have studied is what? Bernoulli law of large numbers. Write down that equation. Compare both these inequalities. What will you get? Your p over here is what? 0.5. Epsilon over here is 0.1. And the right hand side, that is 1 minus pq divided by n epsilon square is what? 0.95. Now, what was our aim, or what is our objective? Our objective is to find out the value of n. So what will we do? 1 minus pq divided by n epsilon square is greater than or equal to what? 0.95. Which implies 1 minus 1 by instead of p and q you have given 1 by 2. So 1 by 4 n epsilon square is greater than or equal to 0.95. Now epsilon square, instead of epsilon square give 0.1, and from this inequality you calculate your what? N. What will you get? N is greater than or equal to 500. Okay, that is how you find out your n. Now problem 4. The problem 4, it is given that if x is a random variable distributed as a normal standard normal, then show that x square has a gamma distribution with the parameters alpha is equal to 1 by 2 and beta is equal to 1 by 2. Now normally sometimes the question will be asked as if x is a random variable distributed as a standard normal distribution, then then find out the distribution of x square. They won't ask you, or they won't give you the information that x square has a x square follows a gamma distribution. This information will not be provided. So what is the thing that you have to do now? Now let f of x be the PDF and capital F of x be the PDF distribution function of what? Your random variable x. Now it is clearly said that your x follows a standard normal distribution. So what is f of x? F of x is equal to 1 by root 2 pi e raised to minus x square by 2. And the value of x, or the range of x, is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now we have to find out what is x square. Now let y is equal to x square, and you have to find out what? G of y, which is the PDF, and you have to find out capital G of y, which is the distribution function of y. Now capital G of y, okay, you can also write capital G of y as what? Probability of y less than or equal to small y, which is equal to probability of what is y? X square less than or equal to y, which is equal to probability of instead of x square, what you can give? X, right? So when you give x instead of x square, this over here will change to what? Probability of minus root y less than or equal to x less than or equal to positive root y, right? Which is equal to, is this thing familiar to you? What is this? Yes, it is f of root y minus f of minus root y. Now this is in the form of what? Distribution function. Now you have to, yes, you have to find out the density function of y. That is our aim, no? Our aim is to find out the density function of y. What is y? X square. Okay, so in order to find out the density function g of y, what you have to do is you have to differentiate this capital G of y, which is the distribution function with respect to y. So what will you get? D by dy f of root y minus f of minus root y, which is equal to, when you differentiate, what will you get? F of root y into 1 by 2 root y plus f small f of minus root y into 1 by 2 root y. Please see, you should always have this thing in your mind, that small f of x and capital F of x both are different, the meaning is different. Okay, and so the next step is what? I take the 1 by 2 root y outside, and inside I will give f of root y. Instead of f of root y, I will write 1 by root 2 pi e raised to minus y by 2. The same thing is also given over here. Then what will I do next? Which is equal to, this 1 by root 2 pi is taken outside, or you just plus this two terms. What will you get? 2 into 1 by root 2 pi e raised to minus y by 2, right? Then that 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Finally you will get 1 by root 2 pi e raised to minus y by 2, and this root y will change into y raised to minus 1 by 2, which I give an adjustment, and I have wrote it as y raised to 1 by 2 minus 1. Now you closely observe what we get over here. What is this? This is the PDF of a gamma distribution with parameter. It's very much similar to the PDF of a gamma distribution with parameter alpha and beta, and you just compare it. Then you will get that y is follows, or x square follows a gamma distribution with parameters 1 by 2 and 1 by 2.